Hello everyone, Drodge here with another episode for the weekly updates. Now this week I'm going to do it just a little bit different. There was an update to actually what is called the Dagannoth Kings. They are a boss fight, a multi-way boss fight. So I'm actually going to travel there and I'm going to fight them, show you what they look like, an actual, instead of just pictures. That's on their website itself. Now I'm going to start from going from Waterbirth over. Now my gear is kind of a little bit on the shoddy side for this. I took notice I did not have my hybrid sets anymore on this account. For whatever reason, I don't remember. But I don't have it, so I have to take, my main gear that's, normally there. But, I'll be able to make do. I do have a familiar with just for extra damage output. I've never used it before, so I don't know if it actually will do any damage. But I thought I'd bring it with just in case it does. I don't know if it will or not though, because I've never used this one before. It's the light creature. But if you're familiar with RuneScape at all, and if you're not familiar with it, there's different pets you can get throughout Solomon General Store or by unlocks, etc., etc. And the one I'm using is actually from, I believe it's a couple years ago. Let's see here, the cosmetics. Yeah, see, there's a bunch of different types of pets. I believe I'm using Commander Porkins as my override. I believe he was from the 2014 to 2015, if I remember correctly, VIP. So they do some cool stuff like that here and there. And he doesn't have any extra perks, but you can use him as an override. Alright. Now, if you haven't been to the Dagannoth area since the release, they are a lot easier to get to. Just instead of actually having to have somebody stand on two separate spots, all you gotta do is just go to the door you want to travel through, open the door, and walk right through. Now, I do have some of the Mazcap abilities, so I do want to let you guys know that. They're very useful for multi-way combat. Now, I don't really care for storm shards. That's mostly useful for like big fights. This way, you have a lot of people using it at once, and that'll make it more worthwhile to you. But if it's just you by yourself, they're not really worth it. Also, since I don't really have any hybrid boots either, I'm using what is called the Silverhawk boots. And I know some people have issues with that item, but it's the only thing I really have. Okay, I remember that way, I think, is the fake way. Yeah, the worst part about actually the Dagannoth Kings is finding the appropriate pathway to get to the Dagannoth Kings. Because as you can see, it's a system of ladders, and the whole time you're going there, you're getting attacked. And there's no real... I went the wrong way. Murder! Murder! Alright, so make my way back to that multi-passway spot. As I'm sure you've also noticed, I'm not too good at the clicking of the ladders in here. Now, see, part of the reason why I wanted to show you guys the Dagannoth Kings is because they actually changed their loot drops. So that's actually going to make them a lot better to fight, because, I mean, they were pretty good as is, don't get me wrong, because you get the Dragon Hatchet, and the Dragon Hatchet is actually worth quite a bit. But overall, that's all they had that was really worth it. I mean, they were still dropping steel and mithril items. So, I mean, as you can imagine, it was one of those things where unless you actually got, the Dragon Hatchet, you were pretty much, well, kind of screwed. So, now also, right now, I mean, this is soon going to be a thing of the past if you ask me, but I use the Wicked Pouch. Because basically what that'll do is it counts for any runes up to a certain capacity. Ooh, wrong thing. But yeah, it holds up to X amount, 10,000 charges for the whole thing. But if you're familiar with the combat system, most abilities, if not all abilities, don't consume runes. So this lasts a very long time. So that's what I'll be using for my magic. That's why you don't see a bunch of runes sitting in there. This is actually probably the worst part of all. Is actually when you do get here, you have all these things surrounding you, fighting you, and you can't set up the custom scenario. And it just happens to be my guy's out of energy at the same exact time, so another kind of pain in the ass thing to deal with. Alright, here we go. I do want my multi-way. Well, no, that's actually probably pretty good right there where it is. If you do want to make a little bit of money on the way there, you can collect the coins and stuff like that. Don't forget to pick up stuff like your anagorgic orts if you get any. I mean, they're not too valuable really, but oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I kind of just wanted to. Ooh, shiny. Oh. Okay, custom session, that's all I ever do with these kind of things. Fastest, yeah. I was a little too slow setting it up, so yeah. Start. Alright, automatic. Ooh, they changed the detail of this. This should make it more interesting. Alright. Okay, now I'm going to pop my vampirism aura. I think they actually look pretty cool now. Before they looked kind of basic. It looks like you can still kind of do the cheatsy thing here of, you know, standing back. I'm going to do my soul split now. Is it just me, or are they actually a little bit stronger than they used to be? Okay, I have the wrong ability in that spot. It's supposed to be wild magic. There we go. Yeah, they look pretty cool. I like them. I think they look pretty awesome. But yeah, I use the I believe this is the magic one. So I'm going to want to put on my range gear while I'm fighting this one. Now, I'm only using like stuff like the crystal bow and stuff like that. That's mostly because, well, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have looked for the fastest respawn rate. Oh, after I kill this one, I'll go back out and I'll kind of reset it. Oh, there's a loot beam. Oh, water talisman. Let's grab it. Oh, that wasn't even worth it. Alright, let's go back out of here. Okay, so as you can see, they're pretty cool looking. The drops so far have not seemed to be all that different for me. But it was only one battle, so I'm not going to get too excited yet. Sheesh. Kill him yet too quick, hurry. Now him. Oh my goodness. I think this is why the teletabs were created. Alright, let's just go with fast. There. Oh, I just realized I just started a brand new one. But, oh well, I made that mistake, so I gotta deal with it. Alright, let's go to my magic abilities. Get over here. There's the Rex. Okay, let's go with Overpower. Prayer Renewal. Prayer Renewal. Alright, that's much better. Let's get this going. Yeah, I mean, if you can kill them faster than me, by all means go for the fastest respawn rate if you do a custom session, because that's really going to help you out. But if you can't, I would not recommend it. Aw, and I don't have my thing set up properly. I want to say it's probably the Dagannoth bones. Yep, I was right. Why didn't you go to... There we go. There we go. Now I'm cooking again. Okay, let's kill him quick before the Rex appears again. This way I can also go over here and get him. A Batwing hood, really? Really, Jackets? That is not an improvement. For this. I mean, I realize they're not the hardest bosses in the world, but still, to only give Batwing, it's kind of like a slap in the face. Alright. It should not be taking this long. Okay, go back to the magic attacks. Okay, as you can see, like the drops aren't entirely better, but yet again, this is only the first few fights. Now, I am using the Ring of Wealth, I always do. I realize there is better methods, but it's something I'm used to, it's something I like to do. Not to mention, I don't think I really have a combat ring anyway, so... Alright, now let's go back to the range. Now see, if you had hybrid armor, you wouldn't have to worry about changing your armor out all the time like I am. But that's something I mistaken, and for whatever reason, whenever I did it, I sold my armor. Yeah, I'd have to say, I think they look pretty cool, especially the Supremes. Maybe the Supreme one looks the coolest. But each one has like different aspects about them that look pretty cool, so I'd have to say overall I'm impressed with the design concepts that they put forth with these. That's my honest opinion. That is one thing too, I remember now actually, they do actually drop food quite often in here. So only bring the food you really need. Apparently they still drop quite a bit of sharks at once. So if you have the defense for it, by all means, you know, go this route. Looks like they still drop the Fremennik blades, and those aren't very useful either. So I guess if you ask me, the drops really aren't that updated. Except for so far, like the only real new item I got was the Batwing. So I'm really not impressed with that. But as you can see, if you're not familiar with the bosses in RuneScape, these guys aren't on the higher end. And I'm actually quite happy I just ended up bringing my spring cleaner. Those things are amazing for stuff like this. It doesn't always work, but if it works half the time, I'm content with that. Yeah, these bosses aren't very complex. You want to use the appropriate gear, of course. Fremennic shield, that's not that good of an item. As you can see, I'm starting to get more and more used to the combat system again with high end, so it's not taking me nearly as long. Yeah, there's stuff I could be doing to make it even better yet, but oh well. I don't remember how my rotations went to make it more smooth. There we go. Yeah, I'm not all too impressed with this so far. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's good, but it could be better if you ask me. I mean, Mithril Plate Skirt. If you're fighting these, who in their right mind is going to be like, oh man, Mithril Plate Skirt? But I know they need to have some junk items in there, or else it's going to be way overpowered for drops. Oh, not that. So, I mean, it does make sense, but at the same time, it's kind of like, really? Okay, I thought that was updated where you can actually disassemble them during combat now. At least it was supposed to be updated that way. Huh, I guess it wasn't. That's a pity. Alright, I'm probably only going to fight one more of these, well, one more set, and then I'll call it a episode. I just give you a rough idea of what it's like to fight stuff like this. They're not bad, but they're not, well, great. So, try to keep that in mind when you go to fight them. You could easily do these if you're higher level for your Dagannoth task. Assuming they still count for it. I don't know, because they have been changing some of that, so... Yeah, see, so far, nothing great. But they're pretty easy. So, I mean, you're not using a whole lot of supplies for what you're really dealing with. You just gotta pay attention a little bit, that's all. Alright. Kept misclicking. Meant to go change them to my range abilities, but kept pushing the wrong button. Now, for this kind of a combat, it's not too bad of a mistake, but for like a big, actual threatening boss, that'd be a huge mistake. Alright. Yeah, see, the drops still really aren't that great. Alright, oh, this is going pretty smoothly. Alright, well, I think that'll do it for this. I'll get out of here and then I'll go over some of the patch notes. But yeah, this is this week's update, is the Dagannoth King graphical change. And then supposedly the drops have changed, but I didn't really see any drops that are really worthwhile, so take it as you want with that. The area looks better than it used to, I will say that. That area is still annoying as all can be. Okay, I'll turn off my prayer now. Okay, let's get my guy out of there, and then we'll talk about today's updates. Oh, and I'll show you a little bit something more with invention. I don't know if I showed it in the invention video or not. But if you do want to, like, if you do get an item, let's say like these spine chaps, and you don't want them, you don't want to sell them, just take it down, drag it, and then bam. You get XP, you get some components, just like that. Didn't really want it. So, okay, that'll be it for that part of this. Up next, let's go over the news. Yeah, okay, so there's 2 rework projects they did. The first one, the main one, is the Dagannoth Kings. They did do the graphical rework, as you can see. They do look pretty cool, if you ask me. But they don't look so much like Dagannoths anymore, so I think they really need to look back into maybe updating the regular Dagannoths now. It does say improve drop tables, but I wasn't seeing it. But yet again, you're going to get junk and you're going to get good stuff too. There is the Wilderness Dungeon reworks, and that is for the 4 and 3 dungeon, the Lava Maze, and the Deep Wilderness Dungeon. There is some changes for invention and the XP curve. Said from today, a change has been made to the way both XP and bonus XP are given to the invention skill by items like stars from Treasure Hunter. Lamps and stars have been somewhat underpowered as regards invention, due to the fact invention XP has a different kind of XP curve to the other skills in the game. Now the invention XP curve will be used by these items instead. This should fix the balance issues involving the use of lamps and stars with this skill. Additionally, lamps and stars that are previously scaled, the reward with your level in a chosen skill are affected. If we've missed any, let us know, and they'll look into it. Okay, but it says the lamps and stars have been somewhat underpowered in invention. So that means more XP. Now, this week, there is going to be more stuff going on for their YouTube channel. They have a RuneFest recap going on this week. In other news, they have augmented dyed weapons and armor. It says with today's update, you will now have the ability to augment any dyed weapons or armor you have acquired. So that is actually extremely good news, because if you're not aware already, if you have level 90 armor, and you have it dyed, it no longer degrades the usual method or at all, I believe. So now you can actually get that armor and dye it, and then put augments on it, and then you can have really high powered armor for good. Not sure if that's exactly good or bad. Alright, now the patch notes, oh wow, there's really not many. Well, if you think about it, they had RuneFest, so there's not really going to be too much. They had a lot to prepare for. But for graphical, they fixed some graphical issues within the dungeon during the quest of Soul's Bane, fixed some issues with the inventory models of all jewelry, fixed the size of some jewelry in the inventory. It says you can now augment and any dyed weapons and armor. Dyed weapons will now drop their base weapon variant upon killing someone in PvP. Little Tuzzy is no longer lost when disconnecting whilst the loot interface is open. Hillweir and Twin Furies now pass through targets correctly. Fixed an issue allowing Iron Man to prune other players' plants. I didn't even know that was an issue. I didn't even know that existed. Okay, NXT fixed for the pink map lines introduced in previous client version. Never seen that. But fixed made for extra large click zone. Okay. And they removed a anim as update as it was causing the Telos boss to crash the client. Whoa, that would be horrendous. Ninja fixes. Divination catches will now spawn once every hour, awarding buffs every 3 hours. That's actually pretty fair. Actually, it will make them a lot more popular in some ways. Interactions with the divine catches have been made less clunky. It was very clunky. It is now possible to reset Divinate Cache minigame with the D&D tokens even if you've not reached your daily point limit. It is now possible to enter a divination catch with a familiar summoned. They will automatically hide themselves. That I hope they start incorporating into other things as well. When playing divination catch, jars which vanish after you've clicked on them will now attempt to redirect you to a new one nearby. That's actually pretty good too. Now, one more thing before we go, I did want to mention they have a list of information for Dbl XP. Now, if you're a free player, you do get some well, it's not quite Dbl XP, but you do get more XP. It's 20 plus 20%, so you get 120%. If you are a member, you get the full 200% XP. But it is 72 hours of Dbl XP. Here is the restrictions. If you can see it on the top, it says runescape.com/community/Dbl-XP-weekend. That is the website. If you want, I'll link it down below in the description. But there is actually a lot of information here for you guys if you're curious of what gets XP, what doesn't get XP, who can and who can't. And it does explain the invention skill. And it does explain that Iron Man accounts do not receive an XP boost on Dbl XP weekend. That may or may not change. I remember there was a poll. I forget what the turnout was for it. I've logged into it. It doesn't say what the turnout is. It just shows what the overall percentages were. But it doesn't say what conditions it was in order to pass. But yeah, that'll do it for today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, later guys.